Your Honors, the prosecution is in receipt of a letter dated July 10, 2026 from NBI Director Melvin A. Matibag requesting that his testimony be scheduled or calendared at the earliest setting, considering that the National Bureau of Investigation, Your Honors, has been invited by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in coordination with the Royal Thai Police for a regional summit on scam center compounds and transnational organized crime. In that regard, Your Honor, the prosecution would like to request that the scheduled testimony of NBI Director Melvin Matibag be scheduled tomorrow after the testimony of our second witness, Attorney Jeremy A. Loto.
After the testimony of your second witness.
Yes, Your Honors.
But the supposed witness scheduled for tomorrow is Attorney Zulaika Lopez per the gentleman's manifestation in the last hearing.
That's correct, Your Honor. After we have dispensed with the testimony of NBI Director Matibag, we can proceed with the schedule of witnesses as provided in the list to the senator judges last week, Your Honors.
To include Captain Bello, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken?
we can proceed with Attorney Lopez and Captain Bello as manifested last week, Your Honors.
What is the pleasure of Senator Judge Cayetano, Alan?
Mr. Presiding Officer, if no one objects, I will not object to having Director Matibag yesterday, but maybe as a caution to government officials, my good friend, Congressman Defensor, I read over the weekend that Director Matibag is writing because he is to be in a convention meeting the FBI next week. So actually, we're going to be here 30 weeks. We have put aside many important things. We have put aside many foreign trips, many local trips, whether it's to help dun sa tinamaan ng lindol sa Mindanao or tinatamaan ng baha ngayon, because we have to be here 2 o'clock until matapos tayo every Monday to Wednesday, then after the SONA every Tuesday to Wednesday. I find it in bad taste that a bureau head will dictate to us that he's not available next week. I was Secretary of Foreign Affairs. That's why you have undersecretaries. That's why you have deputy director. So I mean, I admire the patience of the prosecution, no? But even the prosecution, they have a way of timing and laying down the witnesses. So I don't want later on to say na dapat natanong ko muna to sa unang witness, kaya lang si Director Matibag inuna dahil ganito, ganyan. No, so I'd like to put that on record and ask my colleagues if that's acceptable to us. I mean, yung 20, well, at least those who are not in jail or the 21 of us are here. The whole government nakatutok. We put aside so many important things. And then one witness who is in the government, who is a bureau head, will tell us, sorry, but because he has to be with the FBI, siya na yung mauna tomorrow. That might be a bad precedent, Mr. Presiding Officer.
May I be allowed to give a reply, Your
Gentleman
Honor?
will please respond to the point of Senator Judge Alan Cayetano.
With due respect to the Honorable Senator Judge Alan Peter Cayetano, we will always respect the decision of the Honorable Court. However, we will only be advancing his testimony one day based on the subpoena that we have requested the Honorable Court. He is scheduled to testify until Wednesday, and that we will not disrupt the scheduled list of witnesses. We will simply advance it one day, Your Honor.
With due respect, Congressman, Representative Defensor, I asked that question poignantly last week. If Matibag will be one of your witnesses for this week, and you said no. In fact, you corrected Attorney Ligutan when he mentioned Director Matibag as one of your witnesses, and instead gave me a list of Lotok, Zulaika Lopez, and Captain Bello. Matibag was not included. In fact, I don't think we issued a subpoena. for Director Matibag for this week, given your manifestation after you took over, given that you have, as you said, control and supervision over the counsel for the prosecutors. So he's not in your list this week. He's not being advanced for a day, sir.
May I respond, Your Honors?
Please so.
Your
Please
Honors,
do so,
that's
sir.
correct. I gave a list of witnesses scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. However, Your Honor, to add, I also added that since NBI Director Matibag has been requested for a subpoena to testify within the week, I also added in my statement that we will inform the Honorable Court which day we can present the Honorable Matibag, and I was expecting him to be presented on one Wednesday after the testimony of Captain Belinda Bello, Your Honors.
I confirm that, but the situation is, given the one witness per day rule that we supposedly have under the rules of court, no subpoena has yet been issued to Director Matibag to appear this week. Can the clerk of court kindly confirm that for us on the record?
No subpoena has been issued for NBI Director Matibag.
May I
For this week,
respond? May I respond, Your Honor?
Senator Judge Alan Cayetano is recognized.
Actually, my statement and my question to the court is not really addressed to the prosecution. You will have to do the best you can to represent, the what you're fighting for. No, so I commend you for adjusting. But my recollection is because I'm also waiting for his testimony, and my recollection last week he said that we will not see him this week. And I think 11 days, no? 11 days ang
That's correct, Your Honor.
sa article na to. So we're on day 4. So kung hindi siya pwedeng next week, that's day 7, 8, 9. Again, I don't want to dictate sa prosecution or ano, but to suddenly say na tomorrow na siya, when I'm preparing for our oral argument tomorrow and the other witnesses, is a little bit, it's a small inconvenience for today. But I hope it doesn't become a rule, especially for a bureau head. I mean, if no one else objects, but if someone objects, I don't think it's really a good rule. Rules are important. I'll have to keep, you say technicalities. No, rules are important. So even yung notice, we agreed on, presiding officer, 3-day ba? 5-day notice.
5 days for witnesses not mentioned in the pretrial order.
And then 3 days kapag
3 days, given the fact that we will be announcing the witnesses for the following
Yes.
week on the last day.
Yeah, anyway, I said my piece, but I hope we will not be able to move faster if we have to accommodate the witnesses, especially if they're in government.
May I add something, Your Honors,
before
we...
the honorable defensor, presiding officer would like to hear from the counsel for the respondents. Attorney Vinlon, what say you?
Yes, Your Honor. We would have to oppose on the basis of the following. Number one, it will be in violation, Your Honor, of the impeachment court's directive that was given last week, insofar as the identities of the witnesses and as well as the order of the presentation. Number two, Your Honor, it will be, again, as mentioned by Senator Judge Cayetano, a violation of the 5-day notice rule. Since while he was subpoenaed the week before, Your Honor, we are learning that he will be presented this week. So the 5-day notice will not be observed. Number three, the prosecution cannot compel also the defense and this impeachment court to present witnesses according to their schedule, considering also that these witnesses have already been identified and determined. Of course, it will be a violation of the basic tenets of fair play, and to join again the manifestation of Senator Judge Cayetano, it will set a bad precedent insofar as surprise witnesses will be allowed at any point of the proceedings. Number five would be, it will also violate our right to cross-examine intelligently. We have done our best to prepare for their witnesses. However, these last-minute changes really affect the preparation involved, Your Honor, and insofar as laying down the case that we want to establish. And finally, if there are violations of these proceeding rights, there will be a violation of procedural due process, which of course can give way to another ground to further delay the proceedings. Moreover, Your Honor, we if the prosecution would also allow, can we also get a copy, Your Honor, of that invitation, and maybe inquire of the prosecution if at the particular travel authority has already been made? Because Your Honor, we received information as well that the FBI had already conducted a summit, a regional summit of some sort, but it was conducted in other words, last month, Your Honor, also in Bangkok, Thailand. So we would have to again manifest, and we would have to study, Your Honor, the invitation and counter check and do the proper verification as well, so that if it is indeed viable, then we would understand, Your Honor, why it has to be attended to by Director Matibag, Your Honor.
Senate President Gatchalian is recognized. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Sinusuportahan ko po yung statement ni Senator Judge Alan Cayetano dahil hindi lang naman po yung counsels ng prosecution at defense na naghahanda, pati mo mga senator judges naghahanda rin. At sa totoo lang ho, itong weekend, marami rin sa ating mga senator judges ay pinag-aaralan kung ano yung kanilang maitatanong sa mga testigong ihaharap po ngayong linggo. Marami po ay pinag-aralan po yung mga ebidensyang in-upload na ho para po sa ating mga senator judges. At hindi ho ito konting ebidensya, pinag-uusapan ho natin dito. Libo-libong mga papel at libo-libong mga ebidensya. Kaya kung bigla pong may isisingit na testigo, hindi ho rin makakahanda po yung ating mga senator judges sa kanilang pagtatanong at hindi rin ho nila mababasa yung mga dokumento at ebidensya na nakakabit ho doon sa testigong iharap. Kaya napakahirap naman po na naghahanda ho tayo pero biglang may mga ganitong suppression na hindi ho natin paghahandaan at hindi naman ho yan magiging maayos at patas para po sa ating mga senator judges. Maraming salamat po.
For the record, Chair would like to confirm the statement of the Honorable Defensor. I will quote, Presiding Officer, quote, so Director Matibag is not yet going to be presented next week. Representative Defensor, not yet, Your Honor. We will manifest on Monday. If we can consider him for the Wednesday session, depending on how the trial goes and how long the testimonies will take for both parties. With the permission of Senator Judge Cayetano and the Senate President, may we defer our ruling on this matter and ask the counsel for the prosecution to submit to us the letter given to you by Director Matibag for us to be able to look at it, copy furnished, of course, the counsel for the respondent, so that we can adequately go over it and hopefully come up with a ruling before the day is over.
We submit,
would
Your
that be
Honor.
possible?
We will submit the letter. The Honorable
Thank you,
Court.
Your Honor. So we shall do it that way. Kindly furnish a copy to the counsel for the respondents as well for their review.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Counsel for respondent, Attorney Vinluen's
Your Honor,
manifestation earlier.
if the travel authority is also available, if we can ask
If
for a
the-
travel authority, if it's already issued.
Yes, of course. Kindly furnish us that as well.
Your Honors, we will submit in good faith whatever the prosecution has received from Director Matibag, Your Honor.
As well as
Kindly communicate with him if possible, if he already has a travel authority for the same, so that we could evaluate it based on what you have. We
Yes,
cannot
Your Honor.
evaluate it based on what you don't have, so we will presume if you don't have it, it's not yet there.
Your Honor,
Yes,
one last
Attorney
addition. Considering that there's if and when they provide the travel authority, I understand, Your Honor, that one of the requirements is also the official invitation from the foreign body. So if they can also provide that, Your Honor,
Well-
so that we can do a full review of this matter.
Attorney Vinluen, it's not really for the full review of the counsel for the prosecution, but rather for this court's evaluation, whether or not to allow the motion of the counsel panel of prosecutors. But everything that will be submitted to us, you will be furnished with a copy.
We will
so that you
submit
can
it.
argue your way through this motion before we decide on it. So ordered.
Few moments later, 2,000 years later.
We have no other matters to discuss, Your Honor. We will await the final ruling of the court.
Chair would like to recognize that Senate President Gatchalian.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Pursuant to our discussion earlier on the subpoena for NBI Director Melvin Matibag, and pursuant to the discussion with Senator Judge Alan Cayetano and myself, and to give ample time to the Senator judges to study, to look at the pieces of evidence, as well as to propound their questions, may I propose to let him come to the Senate on Monday. I was looking at the letter from the NBI, and indeed the activity in Bangkok is quite important. It is the regional summit on scam center compounds and transnational organized crime, which will be held on Tuesday. We were also looking at the flights to Bangkok, and there are flights at night, Mr. Presiding Officer. So what we can do is to allow him to come here on Monday and then propound our questions. And if ever we don't finish it, we can request him to come back again after his activity in Bangkok.
With the understanding, of course, Senate President Gatchalian, that the testimony of the witness given in direct examination would be meaningless unless he is thoroughly cross-examined by the other party. So should we not finish his testimony on Monday, it shall be continued on the next trial date until the cross-examination, redirect, and if at all, recross shall have been finished by the parties. Subject to that understanding. Is there any objection to the motion of the Senate President to issue the subpoena for the attendance of Director Matibag on Monday, July 20, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? There being none, same is approved.